It seems Thanksgiving Day is upon us.
Mayflower.
The pilgrims here at PodcastOne.com know that Thanksgiving is generally an effed up day for everyone. Oh, of course, by effed up, we mean filled with family, friends, food, and football. Which is why we're doing something very special so you don't miss out on your regular Thursday and Friday podcast action. We'll be releasing next Thursday's edition of Ask Women on Wednesday. That way, when your team's down by 4 scores or you can't take another cheek pinch from Aunt Edna, you can simply pop those old earplugs in and escape with your favorite podcast. We should do this every year. Happy Thanksgiving from all the turkeys right here at PodcastOne.com. Remember when you had to listen to radio programs on their schedule? Well, with this podcast, life is better because you get to listen on your schedule. But what about backing up your computer files at home or at work? What's your schedule look like there? You don't need to schedule that either, as long as you have Carbonite. Carbonite backs up your files to the cloud for you automatically whenever you're connected to the internet. You can try it for yourself free right now at Carbonite.com. There's no credit card required. Plus, if you use offer code WOMEN, you get 2 bonus months with your purchase. That's Carbonite.com, offer code WOMEN. The following program is a PodcastOne.com production. PodcastOne.com presents the Ask Women podcast. A place where 2 female comics and a professional wing girl get together to dissect the female mind.
You don't know how I feel.
And explain it to men in terms they can actually understand. Now, here's the lovely ladies of Ask Women.
Hey, ladies and gents, welcome to the Ask Women podcast, where you get real advice straight from the source, women.
What do 2 female...
And one mo.
And one mo. We can't say man, we just say mo.
I'm full man.
You're half man, half beast, half annoying, full annoying.
I'm half the man I used to be.
See, exactly. You're admitting it. You know. You know.
He knows. I'm Kristen Carney, and of course we're here with Marni Kinrys, best-selling author.
Yes.
And relationship expert. And then
Yes.
Mo, as we already talked about, who we're not going to talk about again. Guys, this is important. You need to follow us on Twitter.
Yes, follow us on Twitter. I think Twitter's a great way to get your questions read on the show, as well as get them answered by Marni, our great relationship expert, and then get yourself put down by Kristen.
Exactly. Perfect. And see some of our stalkers that are on there bothering us. Yeah. So interesting. Yes, definitely follow us on Twitter.
So where are we on Twitter?
We are at Ask Women Podcast on Twitter, and then you can also share this with a friend, family member, pass it along. Everyone needs help in their lives, not just you. You're not the only one losing your mind.
Yes,
everyone
is selfish.
Right, so do that. But we have a really awesome show coming up today. We have 2 female comics coming in as guests to promote their web series they're working on called My Super-Overactive Imagination. Which is a web series about like their failures in dating,
which I think is hilarious.
It's
we
really
watched a couple
funny.
Episodes. Yeah,
it's really funny. She's really spot on.
Yeah,
with
I mean,
a lot of the things we do when we meet someone for the first time.
Yeah.
What was one of the things that you mentioned? One of the episodes?
Oh, I loved it. It was like, and this is like a theme within her web series. It's when we meet somebody and they have already like 1 or 2 traits that we really like they're either creative or intelligent, and then our mind just goes off on, we're going to be together. They're so wonderful. We're going to have
perfect.
2.5 kids, a dog, all these things.
I wish my imagination did that. I just
you go to the negative.
Yeah, instantly shoot everything down. I'm like, well, if he has one thing, he definitely doesn't have anything else.
I feel like that's a healthier outlook, though.
It is. Oh my God.
Just kidding.
Yeah. No, it is. Oh my God, that's so funny because I actually think it is a healthier outlook. I'm like, it's so human, it's so real. But yeah, so they'll be here and they're a lot of fun. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
And we wanted to thank our sponsors and for everybody who's listening for listening and supporting us this entire time. Without you, we could not continue to do this show. And without our sponsors, we definitely could not continue the show. And I do want to give a huge shout out to one sponsor right now, because this sponsor is going to be happy with what I'm about to tell, a story I'm about to tell, and then really pissed off at me because I screwed up again. Remember how last week I told you guys that my computer had crashed and that I had not used Carbonite? So you would think that as soon as I get my computer back, I'm like, that's the first thing that I do is sign up for Carbonite. But I went to Hawaii last week. I'm like, oh, well, you know what? I'll download it once I get back from Hawaii. Nothing's going to happen. Of course, me being the
tsunamis in Hawaii.
Exactly. There was a huge tsunami that totally destroyed my computer. But I'm so dumb. Okay, so on the way home, I decided to make my own salad for the flight because I eat paleo. And usually on the flights, they don't have food that is good for me to eat.
For people who are listening who don't know what that is, that means ridiculously inconvenient.
Exactly. It's 100% ridiculously inconvenient. It means eating like a caveman. It is vegetables, fruits, meat and beans and nuts. So no grains, no dairy, and I feel
Let me ask you,
1,000 times better.
Do you have sex paleo style, where your husband just bangs you over the head?
Meat?
No, he just bangs you over the head and drags you into the bedroom.
Will someone turn Mo's mic off, please?
Yes,
Let
that's
Marni
exactly
finish the
how we do
story.
it. My husband's paleo too. We're totally paleo style. So I decided to make a salad and put apple cider vinegar in it with beets, which is the stupidest thing. So it's like this liquid. I had them wrap it 5 times in saran wrap. So I thought, for sure, I'm totally fine. And then I stuck it in my bag with my laptop, and we drove to the airport, and I opened my bag, and there was just like a layer of water, or not water, of oil,
Vinegar.
beet juice, vinegar, and that was all over my computer.
That's the best
and
computer salad ever.
Oh my God, the most expensive salad ever. It was
And you lost everything on
no,
your
I don't
computer?
know yet. It is in the Mac store. I'm freaking out. I just dropped it off before being here. But like, I literally had a breakdown at the car return at Budget. I was crying in the middle of the return section. And the guy kept telling me to scoot over. I'm like, I can't move anything. And my husband was like, calm down. You're being a crazy loon. But anyway, I should have backed up everything on Carbonite.
I think people have more of a breakdown over losing stuff on their computer than like losing a loved one.
Oh, 100%.
I'm like, oh, grandma died? Big deal. What about my computer? How's
Yeah,
it doing?
exactly.
You know?
I was going to say a wallet. I don't know about grandma. That's
I'm a cold-hearted bitch. No, I love my
Well,
grandma.
with your wallet, you can get everything back except for the cash. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know how much cash people carry on them, but I don't ever carry cash, so I'm never screwed, basically. So yeah, I wouldn't care if I lost my wallet. My laptop has my life on it, and anyway, so I wish I had backed up on Carbonite, which is why you should back up on Carbonite.
So the message here is don't procrastinate.
Yes.
And go to Carbonite and use our promo code.
It's amazing. And basically backs up everything that you're working on at that time. So I literally could have had a replica of what was on my computer in some cloud space. I don't even know how it works, but I could have had it, and now I don't, and now I'm an idiot.
Speaking of dummies, I had my car towed this weekend for the second time in like 2 months, by the way.
awesome.
I've never had it towed, and then all of a sudden I think things do come in thries, so I'm waiting for the third.
Yeah.
Just like, stocking up on anti-anxiety medications. But basically, I am not a person who pays their parking tickets because
I don't like people like you.
I am a good citizen. I hold the door for people. I shouldn't have to pay parking tickets. You know what I mean? Like, I don't deserve. And plus, I make
They should be paying you.
They should be paying me to just be part of the society here because I make it so great.
Right.
So anyway, my registration now has been expired for 3 months because of all of the parking tickets that have racked up.
I could not
And-
be married to you. I would have heart attacks. All the time.
yeah.
Horrible.
My boyfriend hates me. So I go shopping and I'm like, I really want to try on these clothes, but I know I have to feed my meter because I'm responsible. And
Yes.
the only parking tickets I've gotten are because they're like lowballing me on like, you can't read this sign or that sign because, it's covered by a bush, whatever.
Right.
So I go to feed my meter again before I try on all my awesome clothes that I had picked out to try that I should be not spending my money on and just paying my registration. But anyway, I go out and my car is towed, and basically I had to pay, this week, just to get my car back yesterday, I had to pay like roughly around $2,500.
Oh my
You
God.
gotta be kidding me.
Why?
That's how much your car cost.
I know. It's less
Why?
than that. I didn't even want the car. I'm like, you guys keep it.
the car.
Please.
Wait,
it's horrible.
why?
Because of the amount of parking tickets plus late fees of
How
not
much
paying
do
my
you have in parking
registration.
tickets?
Are you clean with the house now? Or the government, we should say?
Yeah,
Exactly. Are you allowed to be here?
I'm walking the streets and not feeling worried about it. So anyway, the reason it's so expensive is because you have the tow fee plus the day, like the extra day that it's in the tow yard, plus the city fee, plus the parking tickets, plus the late
Jeez.
registration. Anyway, it was just like a horrible.
Can you get that
experience.
reduced?
No,
That's all I'm thinking.
The thing is, I'm too lazy to get anything reduced. I'd rather just pay out the $2,500 than like put in the extra legwork to like reduce.
But
my
you don't
$500.
rather pay the $45 for the ticket when you get it.
I've always escaped tickets the first time this has ever caught up to me.
You can't escape it if it comes back to
No,
bite you.
I lived in Chicago for like 2
Maybe
years.
they're different there.
I had tons of parking tickets, never paid one. I never got a boot on my car, and then I left Illinois and then never had to worry about my registration in Illinois. I'm saying this, someone's
What
going to
if
be
you go
listening and
back
turn
there?
me in. I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe there's a warrant for my arrest.
I get a ticket, I go straight online to pay it, and they always say you have to wait 48 hours. I always forget that.
And
I rarely ever get tickets.
They do that because then you're going to forget, and then they're going to
know.
get increased fees from your late.
Oh, I put it in my calendar. I do not like paying bills late. It freaks me out to do. I don't like interest. I hate all of it.
I don't
I hate
know any
all
other
that.
way. That's
And
all
you know
I know.
where they also F you when you get your car towed is the ticket that's on your car when
Yes.
you pick your car up.
Exactly.
So it's not like the tow fee's not effing you up enough. It's the
then you
ticket
get a
on
ticket?
top of that.
Well, I got the ticket on the car when I picked it up from the tow yard, and a bird shit directly in the center of my windshield. And I was like, well, perfect. And the place is called Tip Top Toe in Santa Monica.
Oh, so they're cute.
No, it's like, no, anything with a toe should be bottom, there should be no tip
They're
top.
like, we are assholes towing.
Right, exactly. And what's funny about their signs is like, please call for illegal parking. We will tow, whatever. But then it's like they turn into like a Middle Eastern dude or something. But then, but then underneath it on the sign, they say, we also help people who have stalled out or whatever. They're really friendly, but it's also threatening at the same time. It's like, well, but anyway, yeah. And then they have a sign on their window that says, it's important. It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. I'm like, how about it's just more important that you don't tow my car, assholes?
Exactly.
So anyway.
Jesus. Okay, so we
But
both
I
had
deserved
horrible
it.
weekends.
I deserved it.
Horrible. So over the weekend, I actually found this article that I wanted to share with you guys today. So it's about this girl from Toronto, and I'm from Toronto, and I'm quite embarrassed that this girl represents my city. But it's, okay, the article says, meet the woman who's dating her way into meals at top Toronto restaurants. And it's a picture of this girl who looks kind of pretty with her mouth open, like she could give you a
This
blowjob quite
bitch.
easily. Yes, but she's a horrible woman. So I'm going to read the article. It's very short. Plenty of people go on blind dates, but it takes a unique personality to go on blind dates just to gorge on restaurant food. Meet Erin, a 24-year-old struggling actress in Toronto with a 48 restaurant-long hit list, a meager bank account, and a mission to use and abuse Toronto dudes. On her blog, A Penniless Girl, Bad Dates, and Plenty of Oysters, she chronicles her not-so-secret life as a food-obsessed serial dater, and there isn't too much she won't do for a free gourmet meal. Hence the picture of her with her mouth open. Masquerade as a practicing Jew in order to date Gus. So now she's pretending to
That's
be a
tough.
Jew
She's
too.
blonde. I mean,
There's
that's tough to
blonde
pull off.
Jews.
I know, but she looked way too
She's
Anglo-Saxon.
too smart to be a blonde.
She's too smart. So maybe she's a brunette underneath it. She's lying even more. Masquerade as a practicing Jew in order to date guys on J-Date. Sure, I'd say my Hebrew is on the rougher side. Target recent immigrants to avoid risking detection.
I mean, you got to be pretty desperate if you're going out on dates with immigrants. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
With a Persian man.
So basically, she is trying to get to go to all these restaurants that are on her hit list, and that's why she's going out on all these dates.
Food to me is not worth the awkward conversations you have to go through for this.
Really?
I
Yeah.
hate women like this.
It's horrible.
It is
First of all, it's giving
horrible.
bloggers a bad name, and it's giving female daters a bad name. I don't like that she's doing this.
And she has this whole thing at the bottom. Oh, I don't care about the backlash. Haters are gonna hate.
I wish Canadians didn't say that phrase. I give you guys way too much credit for not saying stuff like
It's
that.
this American TV.
Haters
It's
gonna
influencing us horribly.
What this
But yeah.
woman doesn't understand is that she uses her looks right now to get things, right?
Right.
There
gonna
is
get old,
a
baby.
shelf life on her looks.
Well, she's only got 48 restaurants. So I think she's happy with the shelf life.
Well, no, because look,
true.
this is like
Yeah.
something in her DNA. She's going to continuously use people her whole life
Yeah.
and use her looks to get that. When her looks fade, she's going to be alone, old,
Absolutely.
and have a cat.
No, what she'll be is married in like a decent house, and like this guy will be, taking care of her. Yeah.
No, because a dude like that, he's not going to take care of a woman like that. Because what is she going to offer?
He may not be a decent guy. That's the whole thing. Maybe
If
she's
I'm
gonna
a
get that
rich
too.
dude who's got money, right?
Right.
Which you're not.
But I'm saying, if I was, right, I'd want a woman that made it so good for me to keep her around that I wouldn't get rid of her. Because I got money, I could go out, I could do whatever I want. I could easily find a girl that's younger and hotter. But this girl at home treats me so well, cooks for me, loves me so much that I cannot leave her. And this woman is none of those things.
Yeah, but she might get into a marriage where she is with a really wealthy guy and they end up, staying together for 5 years and they divorce and then she gets this money and then goes to the next guy.
Right.
So
Telling you,
it may
I'm
be the
telling you,
life that she wants.
This
On
girl's
a-
going to be, she's going to be fine.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
she's 24. She thinks this is funny for right now, but I think it's just horrible.
This looks like one of those women that does not give blowjobs but loves to get eaten out.
No, she loves to go eat out.
Yes,
No,
exactly. exactly. No, I just don't think that websites like this are right. I think that it's selfish. I think that it's hurtful. I always say it's all about your intention, right? You can totally be selfish in life as long as your intention isn't to hurt somebody. I think she's actively going out to hurt people, to lead them on and hurt people and use them.
Well, I don't think her intention. I don't think her intention is to hurt. I don't think she's making the date going, I'm going to hurt this guy. I think she's just having fun and doesn't really know any consequences
doesn't
or
really
care. So
exactly, she is 24. So anyway, so be on the lookout for Erin. Don't date her.
And for our guy friends out there who are dating these girls and you've gone on 2 or 3 dates and you're spending all this money and you're not getting any, get out.
Getting any or getting anything. It doesn't, because there's a lot of guys who write into me who are like, you know what, I've been with a girl who's taking it really slow. She's really slow with the intimacy. I wouldn't say that getting any is an indicator of how. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't say that getting any is the indicator of whether or not this woman is invested.
But a kiss?
A kiss for sure. If you're still like not even kissing by that.
Yeah.
Well, does she say that she doesn't do anything with these guys?
I don't think she does
explicitly
I don't know. I don't know what she does. She might give blowjobs at the end of the night.
If
I
she
have no
was
idea.
doing that, I'd be all for her because she earned that meal.
She
It
earned a lot
doesn't
more
say
than
in this
that.
article. Where was this article? Was this in?
You
In
like
Toronto
that
Life.
dessert, bitch?
I even saw
Exactly.
this on the Huffington Post.
Oh, you
So
did? Of course, I'm sure it's gotten
got out
everywhere.
there. It got out there.
Well, the thing is, this girl's winning in the end because she's going to be making money off of advertising on her blog because it's getting a lot of
Tons
views,
of people.
and then she, whatever. She's going to win. And
Yeah, exactly.
like,
It's
I
gonna
wish
be-
I was smart enough to pull something off like this.
to
or
be an
ballsy
asshole
enough.
and make a
Yeah,
blog like this.
Yeah.
You could totally do something like this.
I have a conscience. Can you say that word?
And her last name is Wotherspoon.
Whoa, there's been
Spoon is in her last name. Isn't that kind of weird?
what a weird girl.
It's Reese Witherspoon's
Cousin?
slutty cousin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she wishes.
It kind of does look like Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Maybe it is.
Maybe.
Interesting. Well, anyway, that's enough time for Erin, because Wotherspoon, or whatever the hell her name is, because I do not like her very much. But so for this chapter in the Millions Playbook, I wanted to talk about dating and breaking up around the holidays. Dating and breaking up around the holidays. Why do people break up around the holidays? And how do you date during the holidays?
Buy presents.
Well, you were saying
Honestly.
before you've broken up over the holidays.
I was broken up with.
Broken up with?
A while ago. I mean, it was like we were kind of casually dating. This was many years ago. And I was on a flight going back to Chicago, or I was waiting for my flight. And it was like I was getting a really weird vibe. Like, I'm never the one who feels like the desperate one. I just have never allowed myself to be in that position except this. And I was really alone. I didn't know that many people in Chicago. And so this guy was kind of like the person I depended on as a social outlet, as company, whatever. It wasn't like we were like in love or anything like that.
Right.
And so while I was home, I was getting a really weird vibe over Christmas, and it like ruined the holiday because I was like, oh my God, he's not really answering. Did I do something wrong? I feel really like insecure. And so then anyway, I was waiting for my flight to go back to Chicago, and right before I boarded, I got a text message saying, like, I don't think this is working. And I cried the entire flight back, and the guys at Southwest were super sweet, and they gave me, like, gin and tonics for free the whole flight, which was really nice.
That is nice.
But I thought it was because he reunited with, like, his girlfriend from high school when he was, like, home visiting for the holidays. So
And was it?
I believe so. I mean, they're together now.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Okay,
so
so then that's probably
was
what it
that.
is. Well, I just think that during the holiday season, it's like it sort of forces you to evaluate your situation because it becomes very real. It's family time. It's like, okay, do I bring this person home? Do I have them at my meal? Do they come for Thanksgiving? Do they come meet my parents? Like, I think that's when you really, really focus on whether or not this person is long term for you. I will say that for the first couple of years that I was with my husband, we had a rocky period always around the holiday season because I know that I was evaluating. I know that he was evaluating. One time I was supposed to go home for Thanksgiving. I didn't end up going home for Thanksgiving because we had a huge fight before Thanksgiving. So I know that for us, that was a huge time of evaluation, which it should be because things become more serious, you know?
Yeah, because look, you want to eventually, and you're going to have to eventually introduce this person to your family.
Right.
And that's normally the time of the year when
That
you
you do.
and that pressure comes up. And in that moment, if you know in that moment, hey, I don't want to ever introduce this person to my family, then you basically, you tell yourself right there, look, there's no reason for me to be in this relationship other than comfort, other than just having somebody. So it really does force you to get rid of them.
Well, I think a lot of people might also break up a little bit prematurely because of that pressure.
Yeah.
Because like, okay, let's say you're dating for 2 months, right? And so the girl is thinking, oh, well, Thanksgiving is coming up. I'm sure he's going to invite me to meet his family. And the guy's like, oh my God, I'm not ready for that yet.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt her. And so then maybe they just end up breaking up because of like an argument that stems from this conversation. So I want to ask you guys, when is the right time to bring somebody home for a holiday?
Well, I feel like my experience has been so limited in that because I always live so far away from where my family is. Right. So if that were to happen, it would be a big, big, big deal. Like, oh, okay, we're going to go to your family's house. So I think that would be when you're really serious to fly to New York rather than Nevada or wherever it is you're.
So how long? So what is really serious and when is really serious?
It depends on who your family is, right? Some people, their families are really strict, right? So anytime you bring somebody in, it's like, this will be my wife. So there's that pressure.
This will be my wife.
She will be my lady friend.
I paid $1,000 for her. She'll be my wife.
But like some people have like the family that are like, who gives a shit? There's like 100 people over. We're all getting bombed and having a good time. And who cares? If you like her, you like her. If you don't, bring the next one. So it really depends. So if you have the family
those are good points.
If you have the first family that is more traditional, then you might be dating a girl 4 months and not bring her.
Right. Well, I think that it's really important to communicate that to whoever you are dating.
By that.
Right. Because she may have a really open family who's like, yes, you've been dating for 1 week, bring them over. And then you're like 6 months in and you're like, no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And she would get really upset about that. Like that. I will say that's how my husband was. He's 10 years older than I am. And I was really young when I met him. So like boyfriends I had in the past, I would meet them and hang out with them every single day. That was normal for me. But for him, he's like, okay, let's go a little bit slower. And then I was like, okay, let's go a little bit slower. I was on board with that. But for me, when he didn't, want to bring me home for that first Thanksgiving, I was like, what the hell's going on? Aren't we dating? Like, isn't this serious? And then for him, he's like, I want to take my time to get to know you before I start introducing you to my family. And then you're breaking up with a whole bunch of people rather than just possibly breaking up with me. But he communicated that to me because, for the first time of him not asking me for Thanksgiving, it brought up a whole conversation. And then he was able to communicate that to me so that I wasn't as upset as I could have possibly been, which could have led to a breakup. So I think it's really important to sit down with your significant other that you have started dating and just express who you are, how you feel about dating around the holidays, and then maybe also have a conversation about where you think this relationship is going and how to handle it over the holiday season. Because a lot of people, especially who just begin dating, a lot of distance can get created over the holiday season. If you are flying home to New York from Los Angeles, you have 2 weeks where you're possibly away from somebody, absorbed in your own world, where you may kind of forget about that other person. And they're in another world too. So
in
it's
the
hard.
old world too, where like you see that girl from back home that you like always wanted to bang, but now she doesn't have a boyfriend anymore.
Right.
And you guys always had a thing, and you're at that bar where all the high school friends are there, and you guys are flirting, and you're like, oh my God.
Something tells me that you've gone through this before.
You know what? I went through it with a old teacher of mine.
What?
Yeah, so when I was a freshman, there was this really hot teacher. Really hot teacher.
It was your male gym teacher?
No, she was the cheerleading coach. She was like 28. She was young. And I used to flirt with her all the time when I was a freshman because I was cocky as shit.
You were? That's surprising.
Yeah, and I was already losing my hair. I had a receding hairline when I was a freshman, so I looked like I was 30.
I'm so glad you came out with so much self-esteem.
Yeah. No, but
You have to if you're bald at 14.
I had it. Well, I had a receding hairline, okay? Let's be honest. It wasn't bald yet. But I think she dug me, and I could have swore she dug me. And even the other guys in class were like, dude, she kind of digs you.
What?
I ran into her when I was 22. When I went back home, I had a girlfriend, and we're in a bar, and we were both drunk, and she wanted to go, and I wanted to go, and I wanted to go so bad, but I had my girlfriend, so I didn't go.
She fucked it up again for you.
Yeah, she fucked it up. And then it's like, then me and my girl broke up, and then I was trying to find this woman on Facebook, but I lost my moment.
Yeah.
You had that's the thing. You had like that small window right there. It could only happen in
It
that
was
moment.
there. It was Christmas time. We were all drunk. We're at the local bar.
Festive.
Oh my God, it would have been awesome.
Yeah. Well, what about the flip side? What about for people who are single right now, who are going into the holiday season? Is it a good time for them to date? Is it a bad time for them to date?
Ooh, I always think of Bridget Jones' Diary. I don't know if anyone...
I love that movie.
Yeah,
Why do you think
because
of that?
she goes to the Christmas party and Colin Firth or whatever the actor's name is, he's there and they're both awkward. She's wearing like a bad Christmas sweater. He's wearing a bad Christmas sweater. They're both known for being single all the time.
Right.
And then it becomes like a love story because they were alone in the holidays. I think it's a good time to at least strike up conversations because people are, I think, a little bit softer. They're more open.
More giving.
Yeah. They want to connect. They feel warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
Because they haven't shaved and it's hot out.
Yeah.
Everybody's having eggnog.
Exactly. So I think it's a really good time if you're back home visiting and there is someone that always sparks your interest. I think it's a great time to say, hey.
Yeah, not even if you're back home visiting, but like literally, I think if you're just single during that time period, it's a great time to get out there. There's like there's tons of festivities around that time.
And
like,
go, if you're a single guy or a single girl, go to the house parties. That's where you meet people that you could actually start a relationship with. You're at a house party. Everyone is somehow connected to one person.
Party.
You're at a swinger party with Mike and Holly.
Yes, exactly.
No, but everyone, there's always someone there that could speak for you. And because of that, everyone's a lot more open, everyone's a lot more friendly, and you could actually meet somebody. Because I feel during the holidays is when we're single is when we feel most lonely. Because
completely.
We want that person we could cuddle up with.
Yeah.
And at those houses, you could find a lot of cuddling.
Slash other things.
Slash
we definitely
ecstasy.
Can. Well, okay. I think we've covered our holiday dating, but I want to continue. Maybe next week we'll talk about like buying gifts during the holidays. I think that's a sticky topic.
Yeah, because if you're with someone and you think they don't get you, you're on the kind of on the cliff of trying to decide whether you think they're into you really or they really understand you, and then they get you a gift that you're like, what? It can be a major turnoff. Like you don't get me. Like if this is what you want to, if you're giving to me as a heartfelt gift, it's wrong.
So I think we'll talk about that next week because I think that's a good topic to discuss.
Definitely.
Yeah. But I think we beat this one dead. Yes. Is that what the term is? Beat it with what is it?
We beat the horse.
We beat the horse.
A dead horse.
On this one. Okay, so what
are Kristen, come over here and beat the horse.
So what are we walking away with? Okay, what we're walking away with from this conversation is that if you are dating right now during the holidays, you want to communicate with your partner and the person that you're dating, no matter how serious you are, about what you're going to do for the holiday season, what your beliefs are, what you think should happen, whether or not they should come home, just so that the other person is on the same page as you and you understand like how to move forward during the holiday season. The other thing for single people is get out there. That's the point. It's like literally go to every single Christmas party that you can go to, every holiday party, anywhere that has eggnog, have a blast. There's like all these sledding parties everywhere that
Kwanzaa
the city
parties.
puts. Yeah, exactly. Get out there, have fun, and interact with people. I think people are more open during this time, and you'll get a much warmer response from a lot of women and men. Yeah. It's a jolly time.
Unless they're a bah humbug.
Yeah, exactly. And then they suck. Right. And then that's a big red flag for you if you don't want to hang out with a person who's miserable around the holidays.
Totally.
So, yeah. Okay, so after the break, who do we have?
We have Maria Shehata and Kate Rhinehart, or Kat, I'm sorry, I always say Kate. Kat Rhinehart coming in to talk about their web series, My Super-Overactive Imagination.
Awesome.
And My Super Stutter, that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah. And we have the Analyze This segment coming up, so stay tuned.
The Bret Easton Ellis Podcast.
I'm here with Kanye West.
Right now, I'm able to talk and be here and, live in LA and have a living and be able to get engaged to my girl because I am a successful musician currently. But if I were to write my title, like going through the airport and you have to put down what you do, I would literally write creative genius, except for two reasons. Sometimes it takes too long to write that, and sometimes I spell the word genius wrong. So.
Check out the debut episode of the Bret Easton Ellis Podcast at podcastone.com, where I'm joined by Kanye West.
Hey, what's up? It's Kanye.
Download it now and experience it for yourself at podcastone.com.
So I've finally given in to my husband, and I am going to go get a pair of glasses because he's very worried about me when I drive at night.
Really?
Because I drive really close up to the steering wheel, and I'm staring at street signs because I can't see them until I've literally passed them.
Until you've run into other cars.
Yeah, it's horrible. So I am going to get a pair of glasses, and luckily we have one of our sponsors, AC Lens, and they have an online website where you can go on, you can look at like thousands of pairs of glasses and choose from those thousands of pairs and get glasses, and they're all freaking really, really nice glasses.
Did you upload your picture?
Oh, I
try
didn't
on
do
the
that.
glasses?
No, I didn't do that. I
should
totally
do that.
forgot about that. Because I kind of know what I want already, so I knew which ones I was looking for. But they had them on there. It was amazing. And I've ordered
Well, you
the
already
glasses.
you hate driving anyway, so like going to a glasses store sucks for you, right?
Yeah, that's why I do everything online. So it was perfect. Like I could, but if I could use that service of like seeing what I would look like, that would be awesome.
do that.
I totally forgot about that. But I'm just going to read to you about AC Lens because it's aclens.com. They're awesome. They take great pride in easy to use website, great prices, one-stop shop for all your optical needs, free shipping and fast delivery, great customer service, award-winning, in fact, actually. And they were super nice when I talked to them. Would be great if they could. They have a wide variety of eyeglasses and sunglasses from the well-known brands like Ray-Ban and Oakley to upcoming brands like Superdry, Zubug, and Proof, a 365-day guarantee, and all purchases are secure. You can order online or you can call 888-248-LENS. And you get 20% off all orders and free shipping on all glasses, sunglasses, and reading glasses, free returns on everything because you're listening to this podcast. So you have to go to aclens.com, click on the microphone, and enter promo code WOMEN20. That's promo code WOMEN20 to get 20% off.
I hope you guys can actually see the computer, though, so you're not wearing your stuff from AC Lens. You're going to be like, promo code what? I can't see what I'm typing because I haven't bought anything from AC Lens yet.
Exactly.
So, yeah, make sure you do that. So, yeah, go to AC Lens and use the promo code WOMEN20. Click the microphone and enter WOMEN20. And also you get 20% off all orders and free shipping on glasses, sunglasses, and reading glasses, so you can actually see the glasses that you'll be wearing.
And it's free returns on
everything. So do that, yo. Go to aclens.com.
Offer may not be combined with any other coupons, sales, or special offers at AC Lens.
You're listening to the Ask Women podcast, a Podcast One presentation.
Whatever. Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. We have two lovely ladies in the studio talking about their very hilarious web series on dating. We have Maria Shehata and Kat Rhinehart.
Hello.
Thanks for coming. So we basically, we talk about dating, etc. And obviously your web series is like a nightmare of like dating horrible things. So where did this all come from?
Yeah, are these all things that have happened to you?
They're all things that have happened to me, yes. Some are a little more exaggerated than others, but unfortunately it's a joke. Like, I'm like, I wish it was less true than it was.
Yeah.
Unfortunately it is. And there's even worse ones that happen in the new season where we're coming out. I've had some pretty terrible luck with dating since I got to LA. I got an OkCupid, and like the first guy out of the gate that I went out with, like, didn't have a bed. He like had a mattress, an air mattress.
Yeah.
And like no car and no job.
That's horrible.
And and I'm not super high maintenance, but I just like, you show up.
I mean, those things.
Yeah. You need food and shelter.
Exactly.
Right. The basic needs.
Yeah. Can you have sex on an air mattress? I feel like it's like a water bed. It's like when I'm on one side, the other side pops up or goes down. It's like trying to get a groove.
You absolutely can, because I definitely dated him. I didn't. He was very charming, in spite of himself. You just have to like reinflate it before you go to bed.
Oh, okay.
So it's good enough that you have to reinflate. For me, it would just be like totally the exact same.
We took about 10 ounces of air out of this thing.
Yeah.
Right.
That's hilarious. So it's called My Super-Overactive Imagination.
Yes, it's called My Super-Overactive Imagination. It's a mouthful. I thought of it, I used to walk to work, and it was like a 2-mile walk to work, and the whole time I would just sort of like daydream and fantasize and think about like whatever guy I had just met, and I kind of realized that I do that, and I think a lot of women do this. What I'm trying to capture is this whole like, you meet a guy and you find out like one piece of information about them, and I think it's like the romantic comedy syndrome, where you just meet, you find out that, say, they're a writer, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, he's gonna write this best-selling novel and I'm going to be his muse.
Oh yeah, that was one of my favorite ones that I saw in the Whole Foods parking lot. Yeah.
But you just go in these, and I do this, and I go off on these huge, like, long, elaborate fantasies of our whole life together. And then the next thing out of his mouth, or he'll say and do something, and then the whole thing is just deflated and ruined. And he didn't actually do anything wrong.
Right.
And I think that's maybe like where the disconnect is. I think sometimes like women get very disappointed and like you messed up. Yeah. But like it's not your fault. You didn't know. Like it's just like you're fighting with my overactive imagination, and you can't win.
And I feel like that was spot on, because a lot of women are like that. And I try and tell men, more is less. I mean, less is more.
That's why he has no hair.
That's exactly why. But I have hair all over everywhere else. But what I'm saying is, like, for men, do maybe one sweet thing and then don't do anything else. And then
ever?
No, not ever. But what I'm saying is the woman's her imagination's going to take her somewhere and build you up to what she expects you to be or what she thinks you are, right? And what a lot of men do
just like slowly break that down.
Slowly break it down. But what a lot of men do is we talk ourselves out of a bang or we talk ourselves out of a second date because we talk too much.
You absolutely do. I have a friend. Okay.
Yeah. Swear away.
I remember I got home from a date and told my friend the story, and he was like, "That's just called you just talked yourself out of some pussy."
Yeah.
Because I walked up and I saw him, and the first thing I thought in my head was like, "Oh, you're so cute. Please don't fuck this up." And then he proceeded to just destroy himself. Just
what did
talk
he do?
himself. Well, first he so we met up, and I was wearing heels. This is when I lived in New York City, and he was like, "Oh, I forgot that this bar is cash only, and I only have a card, so let's walk like 15 blocks to another bar." We get there, order drinks. That's cash only too. So I paid for, which was fine. Then he was like, "I'll pay you back later. We'll go to an ATM." Don't say that to me. Like, that's just so weird. And then we went to another bar.
He's going to rob you.
Yeah. And then we went to another bar, and we got there, and he was like, "They have Yingling on special tonight for only $5. And he said that probably about 10 times. And then to like really drive home that Yingling was on special. And then we sat down. At a table, and the waitress comes over, and he goes, "I'm going to have a Yingling." Looks at me and goes, "But you can have whatever you want." Like, that's cool. I'll have a Yingling.
Almost like he wanted you to have it to save money.
Yeah, a little bit. And then he ordered food, and when I ordered food, he was like, "Oh, you ordered food too?" And then he dumped half a bottle of ketchup on the plate.
This guy was affording to live in New York?
Yeah, and he told me he was a cinematographer, and then he had to borrow my phone to check his email because he had a flip phone. And then he called my chips and guacamole, which were expensive. They were $6, and he was like, "This is your chips and guacamole are so expensive. I'm going to get you more chips."
Well, I was just talking about that earlier before you guys came into the studio. There was this guy who was trying to get like $10 back for parking in a parking lot in like downtown LA. And it's like he was with his girlfriend, and it was in front of his woman. It's like it's so sad when you're trying to fight for that nickel.
Right.
You don't want to look that desperate in front of a woman.
It's okay, right? That's the thing. Like, it's okay if you don't have money, but just don't announce it so overtly. Like, and he didn't even realize that he was doing it, but he could have just, if he didn't have enough money to take me out for a drink or food, that's fine. Just say, like, just be creative and let's do something else.
Yeah, maybe a picnic in the park or
girls
cooking
love that.
for you. They
Cook
love that stuff.
Absolutely.
So you're not dating currently, and are you dating, Maria? Do you have a boyfriend?
No, I don't have a boyfriend.
Do you have the same nightmares?
Oh, what? Wait.
Do you have the same nightmares? As Kat?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. It just, I guess, dating in LA has been, for me, it's just been like an expectations thing on their end. Like I think they get, like, guys get laid so easily here that it's impossible to date, because I went out with a guy, and then we were at dinner, and he,
I thought Mo shaking his head. He's like, yes.
He goes, "The last time I was here on a date, the girl blew me in the bathroom." And I was like,
"What?" That's what he said in your first
that's what
date?
he said. That's what he said. And I was like, I was gonna get the ceviche. I don't know what you were gonna get.
What do you say to
still
that?
had a menu in front of me, and I was just like, why would he say this to me? Like, why? How is that okay to say to me? And then I realized it's because girls are blowing guys in bathrooms on first dates, and we're like not demanding respect, But it's like hard. It's hard to date somebody. It's like, I just want a dinner and a movie. If other girls are going in and getting like dinner and giving a blowjob, it's like.
Like, how do you win?
You don't, like, you can't, I'm not, like,
but who are you dating then? So, like, who are these guys that you're dating? Are they normal guys? Are they, like, who are they? These guys are getting blowjobs in the bathroom on a first date.
Right. Well, like, that was, I've dated a few guys on OkCupid.
They should call it like good Cupid, because okay makes it sound way too average.
Yeah.
It's like,
well,
okay,
but it is just
good enough.
He's okay.
It is, though. Like,
but like
everybody
these guys
is just
that
okay.
you do date, like, what attracts you to them in the first place from OkCupid?
I think an opening message would be, "Hey, I noticed this on your profile. That's really interesting. Here's something about my life that applies." Not, "Hey, how are you?" Or
right.
Or
so
you're
for
cute,
this
cutie.
guy who said
or
that
just
to
something
you.
that could be like a mass-produced email to every girl.
The spam
like,
ones
if you
are
go
horrible.
specific on me, then like you've got my attention.
Now let me ask you, because this was one of the episodes. When you find a guy on OkCupid and you're going to go on a blind date, Do you girls research these guys on their Facebook and learn everything you can about them?
Yeah,
I
do.
absolutely
Knowledge is
do.
power.
Yeah, there's no more true blind date.
Yeah, I will. Well, I mean, if they don't tell you their last name, then they can get away with it. So I went out. With
I
a
would
guy
just
who-
Google every Matt ever. I'm like, Matt.
Sometimes you do that. You're like Adam Professor.
Yes.
See what comes up. We might find him.
Yeah.
So what? So then, do you recommend for these single guys, like their Facebook profiles should kind of
No, don't change it.
reflect? You know, I'm.
Well,
We're looking
it's
at
harder
them.
for you
We're
to
looking at them.
stalk then.
They should know that we are researching. We're looking at
Well,
their
aren't they
profiles.
researching too? Everybody's researching.
I don't think, honestly, guys don't do it as much as women do. I think women are doing it a lot more.
Well, because
than
we're
men
like, who is this man that might be in my life forever? And they're like, who's this woman that I might get laid?
Right. I don't even know that
But is that,
Right.
is that what you're thinking when you're doing the research? You're like, I want to know every single thing about this guy so that what?
I don't mean to, but I just go everywhere in my head. If I find out good things about him, I'm like, oh, well, this could be great. Like, here's our life together, and here's what kind of kids we would have, and oh, like, he's 6 foot whatever, so like they would be kind of tall, and like there's his dad. If he has pictures of his family, I'm like, oh, he loves his family.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It sounds completely ridiculous, but it's true.
not
Like that
completely
that
ridiculous.
super overactive imagination is like where our mind goes. Like, could we see like him in our lives forever? Oh, he's got a good job, so that will be provided. And like, you know, it's a split second, and it's like maybe not a split second, maybe a little longer, but we do that, even if it is just a date.
Do you find that bites you in the ass afterwards when you do meet the person in person, and it's hard to be really dynamic?
Right.
Being disappointed by meeting a celebrity. Like, I've met, and I'm like, ooh, you know, and you build them up in your head.
Ooh, what celebrity did that to you?
Who have I met that I would do that to? I have no idea. But
I know that I know they're going to let me down, and I'll be disappointed. Sometimes I just feel badly for them though, because it's not their fault. They didn't do anything wrong. They just didn't live up to my like unrealistic expectation that I just created in my head. So I think, and even dating, like even like long-term boyfriends have done that to me too. Like, and I think that maybe the one thing that I've learned from this is I have to communicate better if someone lets me down. And like so often when the guy's like, what's wrong? And the girl says nothing. It's because my crazy, like this, I thought today we were going to go on a picnic and you were going to propose to me and this and that. Instead you're watching football in your underwear. Like,
right.
And that's fine. Like you didn't tell me otherwise, but I just did it in my head.
But this is a losing game for all the men out there. Like, we can never win
It's
at this
not really,
game.
because you're saying that you're learning something from it. And I think that that's the point of this web series, is to pass on a message to women and to men, for men to be aware that women are doing this.
Right.
And this is what goes on inside of our heads. And for women to be aware that sometimes our overactive imagination kind of fucks us in the end.
Right. Yeah.
So what would be the advice that you would give to men to combat this overactive imagination? Like, what could these guys have done to make it turn out better for them and for you guys in the long run?
Make themselves awful. to begin with.
Yes. No, it's true.
Make themselves off.
Open with I live with my mother. Open with a George Costanza line from Seinfeld when he's like, my name is George, I'm 37 years old,
I live with my parents.
I live with my parents, I'm unemployed, and then we'll go from there.
Right, and just build up.
I'll be like, oh, I'll fix him. Because that's another one. Like,
Right,
I'll
exactly.
save this guy.
Yeah.
So be that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And when high expectations, it's the same thing like going to a restaurant. Like if they have like awesome pictures on the Yelp or whatever, and then you go and it sucks, you're just kind of like, I would never go back to this again. But if they had shitty pictures on Yelp and the
It would be
food was like
surprised.
decent, I'd be like, okay, I'd go there.
Right, yeah.
But so you were saying even in your long-term relationships, that communication would have helped. Like, what could a man have communicated to you so that you didn't let your mind go to this other place? Like, because a lot of men don't communicate. Like, and a lot of women don't either. Everybody expects the other person to be mind readers.
Right.
And that's where things get fucked up in relationships. Because you have your own experiences and your own set of expectations, and then you're trying to pair it with another person who has a completely different background. So no matter what, you guys are not going to pair up.
Right.
So what could men do?
Yeah, and it's especially like as you get older and like you have a new relationship and then they treat you like how their last relationship.
Right.
So that
Yeah, they project that stuff onto you.
Yeah, I think you really have to talk, and it's so cliche, but I end up like having the best sex and the best relationships like the next time I meet up with someone and we just broke up. Because we'll just talk about everything and I'll be like, well, I thought this, and he'll be like, no, but I thought this, and it's all things that we should have just said to begin with.
I love
then
you.
now that all the pressure's off, we say all those things and we have really hot sex, and then we never talk again.
The advice is to leave us.
Yes, exactly. That's what
walk
you should
away.
do. That's what guys should do right now.
In the
Well,
clause.
have you ever seen the show Polyamorous? It's on Showtime or HBO. I don't know. I was watching it a while back. It's a very short series. But
people would make fun of it because of how much polyamorous relationships, how much they communicate with each other, which are it's just like having multiple partners. It's like you having a wife or a significant other, but then having a boyfriend and a girlfriend, like all of these extended people who are a part of your pod or something. I don't even remember what it's called, but it's like, anyway, you have a lot of people that you have sex with and you're very intimate with, and lots of boyfriends and girlfriends, and they're not mistresses or misters, I don't know, but you have these people in your world, but there's a lot of communication, and people are just like watching the show being like, oh my God, they have to have a 4-hour conversation to talk about, going on a date with your boyfriend or whatever. But it is the key to having successful relationships, is talking things through, like
and let's be honest, I think communication is important, but what's more important is that you're mature enough to handle the information that is given to you, because a lot of the times you could be completely open with your significant other and they're just so insecure in their own skin that it just shatters their world and ends your relationship.
Yeah, I would say that's where I was within my own relationship. My husband's 10 years older than me. And so we had gone into couples counseling, and I had never heard about self-soothing. I always expected my significant other to soothe me because my parents had soothed me in the past, right? So whenever we were having a constant argument where I would get mad at him for not soothing me when we were in an argument together, even though he was trying to soothe himself. And the therapist said to me, you have to learn how to self-soothe. And that was like a novelty for me to hear about, like, oh, I have to calm myself down. He's not able to calm me down during an argument. And then I really started to work on that. So I think that, like, as you get older, you start becoming more aware of, like, what is your responsibility. And I like what you just talked about insecurities of your own that you do have to work on for yourself, for men and for women, because men have a lot of insecurities as well. It's not just women.
Oh no, man, we have a ton.
What are some male
I think men are more insecure than women.
Yeah.
Really?
My sister always says that, and she's generally right about everything, but I know.
Well, I think men can be more insecure because women can get, like, laid so quickly or whatever or women, men will sleep with women all the time. So you have to kind of worry about that. It's easier for a girl to get something than it is for a guy to get something.
Men, we have financial insecurities. Yeah. We have physical insecurities.
And you're not allowed to express your insecurities as openly as we are. Like, we can cry to our girlfriends, and, like, if a guy were to, go to his friends, they're like, I'm really upset about X, Y, and Z. He'd be like, dude, man up.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's basically it.
Yeah, so you
just go to our friends and talk about
up.
banging.
Yeah.
That's all.
So your web series sounds awesome. I think it's, like, really psychological and also really informative for
and
tons
really
of
funny,
people.
Because they're really relatable. They're super relatable.
Funny. Are you guys having fun?
Oh my God! Like we're shooting right now the second season of it, and I'm the first 10 episodes were all Kat. Like, it was her writing, and so the next 10 episodes, her and I wrote them together, and I'm really excited about it. We're just.
It's been amazing. I say the whole thing is just so much fun, except I edit it. Editing is not fun, but the rest of it is just, it's a game. We just laugh the whole time, and we use all comics.
We just kind of let them do their thing.
And, we'll write a script, we'll shoot it clean, and then we'll let them improv, and it's been a blast. It's been so fun.
Do you find that your dating life has changed since doing these shows? No. Just so we can keep the show alive. It's going to remain.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for the art. I'm staying single for
I'm like, oh God, like, what if something goes well for me? Then I won't be able to. It's helped me communicate, because it's funny, like, if a guy asks me out now and he's seen it, and I'm like, well, at least what you're getting into.
It's all out on the table.
But I'm learning. I feel like I'm starting, because of it, I'm starting to pay more attention to other people, like, who do it right and who do it wrong. Maybe it's almost like field research, but I think that like, for advice for relationships, like, I feel like, learning from your mistakes, but I tell myself, if I do it again, like, one thing that I think is really important that people forget when they get comfortable is just to be nice to each other.
Yeah.
And like, my mom always, and then my parents are, like, happily married for, like, 40 years, and my mom always dotes on my father and how handsome he is, and I think that women forget to do that, and men forget to do it as well. But so I'm like, okay, like, I've got to start doing that, and I, like, write that down, and when I see other couples that are doing it right, I paid more attention, because
I love that.
Yeah, I don't want to do this forever. Like, I don't want to be a disaster forever, but I also have to keep in mind that it's not just the guys. I tried to make it pretty even in the web series, where, a lot of the guys are these dopey idiots that mess up, but also, like, it's my problem. Like, I'm the problem as well.
You're the common theme.
Yeah.
And I think that's as a man, that's why I enjoyed it. It's because you were able to make fun of yourself as well as then make fun of the guys as well.
Yeah, I don't think it would be nearly as funny if you didn't like poke fun at yourself. And
Right. If it was just these guys are the problem. It's a lot of pointing fingers. Maybe that's the problem in the beginning of a relationship is pointing fingers. Because that's what
protect yourself.
Well, when you start courting someone, like when you like someone and they like you, the first thing you do is like be mean to them.
Mm-hmm.
So like you like you don't text them and they don't text you, and it's like so it's like a weird way
I remember my boyfriend said when we first started dating, it was my birthday around that time. He lived out here and I was still like back east. But he said he purposely, like he told me later, he purposely didn't write to me on my birthday.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was so upset. It was like, oh my God, it's my birthday and we've been talking and I haven't heard from him all day because he wanted to seem like he was like busy and had things going on. He texted me the next day and was like, oh yeah, by the way, happy birthday.
Playing cool. And you've been with him for 5 years. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Exactly.
The assholes.
Yeah.
Well,
we hate each other. So
We have
it
a
works.
segment that's called Analyze This, where we have people writing in questions to us, and then we basically analyze it. So I know you guys are going to stick around for this, but are you guys ready to analyze this?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
cool. Well, guys who are listening and girls who are listening, anybody who's listening, you can write your questions into ask@askwomenpodcast.com. We get tons of emails, but so make sure your subject lines are really interesting and informative and speak to what the question is about.
Just say
and that's
Kristen's
usually
awesome.
what catches our attention.
Or follow us on Twitter and ask us questions on Twitter.
Yes,
Because they will make it on the show.
In 140 characters. Do it. Okay, here is the first question from Jerry Maguire. Emergency. How do I tell an old friend she's the love of my life? I have to tell her before I leave town. But I don't know how to approach the convo. I don't have her number or address, and she works 4 jobs. I've narrowed it down to 2 options, neither of which are ideal. Number 1, show up at work and urgently pour my heart out, which may come off a little psycho and scare her away for good, although she is the kind of person who would listen to serious urgency. Number 2 is message her on Facebook that I need to talk to her. Kind of spills the bean, killing the element of surprise, not to mention she has the option of never getting the message.
Just say you had me at hello.
Yeah, this sounds like a
Jerry
romantic
Maguire.
comedy theme.
They're friends, and he can't just call her and like while they're hanging out, say, "Hey,
I
by the
don't
way,
have her
I
number
wanna
or
marry you."
address.
Oh wait,
and
so
she
they're-
works 4 jobs.
Sounds like they're not friends.
Yeah, it sounds like he's
and
stalking.
he's stalking her.
Exactly.
So-
But he's leaving town too.
Yeah, well, look, I think they do have some sort of connection, and he is leaving town, so he just wants to get this out before he leaves.
I think he has a connection with her. I don't know if she has one with him.
And it sounds kind of like she's been lying to him. Like, I'm so busy. I have like 4 jobs. It sounds like something I would say.
Right, but how does he not have her number, but he knows she has
That's
4
the whole
jobs?
thing. So the first line is, how do I tell an old friend she's the love of my life? Exactly what you just said. I think it's like him thinking those things. Like, first of all, calm down, Jerry. She's not the love of your life. I think like what you're trying to say is I want to explore the option to see if there's something else there, especially with somebody whose number you don't have or address, and she knows where she works, so he could go to her office. But like,
what I would do if I was him, don't go to the office.
No.
Don't leave a message on Facebook. That's what everyone else does. And the office is just crazy. Send flowers to her office. And then, like we talked about, less is more. Send her flowers.
One
leave
flower.
a really cute note, right? Just a small.
usually I
cute
hate
note.
that, but for some reason I like it right now.
Because look, let her feel like she was like the love that day, and everyone at work is like, oh my god, who are those flowers? What is that? And let her imagination run off on who you are and how great you are.
It just depends on their relationship now, because if she's not into him at all and she gets the flowers, if it were me, I'd be like, oh, this guy's really
But
weird.
I actually agree with Mo, because she works 4 jobs if she really does work 4 jobs.
He's
And
like,
it's
no,
not her
I know you're
excuse.
lazy. You're lying to me. Like,
Yeah,
there's no way you
but
can
if
have 4 jobs.
she's working 4 jobs, I'm guessing maybe she's a single mom. I have no idea why she's working 4 jobs, but she's someone who may need to be appreciated. So I actually think that would be a good idea for him to do. But what would be the message that he would say on the card?
Oh, that's a tough one.
We need to talk. Here's my number.
Need to talk seems a little bit urgent, though.
Yeah,
it's not
it
really
is.
urgent.
He's
not
leaving.
leaving town.
He's leaving
That
town.
is true.
It's urgent.
Is he a
Yeah,
convict?
we have
like,
24
leaving town?
hours.
Like, why is
I'm
he
going to jail. I need to get laid. Is that the real-
It's got to be something that hints to feelings that he does
Yeah.
really care about her, and that he wants to explore something.
Two
and then
old
put the
friends and
ball,
new beginnings.
Put the ball. In the court,
I like that. No, I do something sweet. I can't think of anything right now, but something is like, hope these flowers like brighten up your day or make you smile, something like that. And then I'm guessing she knows who you are. Hopefully, Jerry, she knows who you are. But then say, would love to have a conversation. Give me a call. Want to tell you something.
I like that he knows he's going to do it. The question is how to just get in touch with her in the first place.
Yeah.
That's a little...
It all seems weird. All of this seems weird, to be honest. But I think Mo's suggestion was pretty good. Yeah? Yeah, no, I think it's good.
Sunflowers all 4 of her jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so question number 2, and I don't know who this is from. I met a girl 26 years old on a dating website and had 3 dates with her. We both enjoy running, so for the next date, I tried to arrange a run. On the day of the date, got this text. Hi, thanks for the text. Hope you're having a good day too. I've been thinking, and it's truly a case of me not wanting to lead you on. I think you're great. I'm just not sure if I've got the right feelings for you in terms of a potential relationship. I just want to be honest with you now.
She farts when she runs. She's trying to...
Yeah, exactly. If you still want to go for a run later, let me know. So she's still open to the run. Anyhow, I was cool and just text back saying, I appreciate your honesty and it would be great to remain friends. We still went for the run and I broke the ice straight away with a hug and said, thanks for being straight with me, but I'll still cry myself to sleep tonight, to which she laughed and it just removed any potential awkwardness. On the run, she shared with me that she's been basically single forever because she is stupidly independent and described herself as a nightmare. After the run, she said it'd be nice to see you again, which she never said on our other dates, or on our date. I know I've friend-zoned myself for sure. However, she's a cracking girl, and I'd certainly like to have her around as a friend.
Probably British.
Nothing at all. However, I guess I'm a little confused about the whole thing. Do you have any insight into what she's thinking?
You're in.
Yeah.
He's in.
Yeah.
I kind of think so too.
No, I think it's like total human nature for people who are scared of relationships to be like, look, you're great, but I just want a friend. Because I mean, she was into him in the first place, but she was just like, this is scary. So like, let's keep him at arm's length.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
I think she's going to lead him on for 6 months and then drop him. And he's going to be right back where he started.
That's what scares me too. What the problem that we have is that we always put so much pressure in the beginning of when we meet somebody. Like, oh, is this person marriage material? Is this person going to be like? We put the pressure of the future without living the moment out. So if he is patient and actually does get to know her and somewhat makes her dependent on him in the process, then there's going to be that moment where he can't take it anymore and he either gives her an ultimatum or kind of pulls away and then she comes back to him.
Yeah.
You know?
But he sounds like he's okay with just being friends. It's not like he was in love with this girl. He's like, oh my God, this is the girl.
Yeah, but listen, don't be that guy because then you'll always be the guy that's the friend of the girl while Chucky Big Cock over here is always banging her every night because he's got the balls to do it.
Right, exactly. Like, leave her. Like, get in with her on a friendship level and then leave her.
Go date other girls.
Oh,
on
yes,
your dating
absolutely.
Site, and then
or date her friend.
Oh, yeah.
Don't date
My advice is not to focus on her. Absolutely. Like, okay, take the friendship. Don't hang out with her all the time. Go run and get to know each other. See if she does open up. But as well, go out and date tons of other people.
Yeah, you're going to be in the friend
don't
zone
focus
if
on
you
her.
Make it all about her.
You told her how you felt. She told you how she felt. Ball's kind of in her court if she wants to up it because you're down to poke if she wants you to, you know? So I would, walk away and do other things and don't give her any attention and she'll get back.
Done? Are we done? What? We talked too much on this show. Jesus. Okay, well, we had 2 more questions. We will have to...
So good. I like the last one.
Okay, we're just going to do the last one then.
Question 5.
Yeah? Okay. Oh, question 5. Damn it, I put so many. So we'll do the other ones next week. Okay. Great show. Brings insight and comedy. Keep up the hard work. Quick rundown. I met this girl in my college class. Very attractive. She approached me and gave me her number. Thanks to Marni and her program, which you can get at winggirlmethod.com, I have learned how to be me, and it shows. So my man sexy is very high, and we went on a date.
Your man sexy goes down when you call it man sexy.
I love it. I know, every girl hates that. First date went well, and we continued talking. 2 weeks went by because she was sick. Next date, I go and pick her up at her house. She says to come in. Her parents want to meet me. What? Oh, good. Moving kind of fast, in my opinion, but I greeted her parents. We went out to a cool little restaurant I suggested. She paid, and she said she had to make it up to me. Then we got ice cream. During our conversation, she said that we go back to her house and sorry, my reading is atrocious. We go back to her house and watch a movie.
Canadian school system.
I know, horrible. Everyone will be upstairs asleep. So here is my question. Meeting someone's parents usually happens after many dates, even more than many dates. Saying you want to watch a movie and everyone is sleeping close to midnight, to my knowledge, is I want some. Is it me or am I reading too much into this? Am I reading mixed signals?
First question, she lives with her parents.
Well, they're in school.
Oh, okay.
She sounds ethnic.
Or
Like my parents would want to meet some dude who was picking me up.
Religious, she could be religious.
Yeah, but they just wanted to take him home, watch a movie, and give him a little HJ. Something religious about that.
Well, she doesn't have to be. Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, her parents might be super religious and want to meet. Like, it might not be her, like, I think I'm ready to move on in this relationship. It's probably
I don't think it is. I think, well, we were talking about it at the beginning of the show, because we were talking about, how to deal with dating somebody new during the holidays. Do you bring them home? Do you not? And we were talking about the differences in family structures. Like, some families are like, don't bring anybody home until you have a ring on your finger. And other people are like, oh, you've been dating for a week, bring them over. Like, we love having people at our house.
Right.
For me, I would say when I was in college, I probably would have done the same thing if I was at my house. Like, oh, come on in. Like, meet my parents. It's not like I'm going to marry you, meet my parents. It's you're a person who may be inside me later, and, you're walking in my house now.
And also, I'm the man of the house here, and I have a daughter, right? And this guy's going to pick her up and take her out. I'm like, you know what? Bring in our buddy over here and let me talk to him. Bring in Kevin. I want to meet
Yeah, but again,
Kevin
you're ethnic.
Yeah. I want to meet you, Kevin. This is my gun collection.
I guess I'm ethnic, too.
Yeah, but you're right. I think it's not like they're coming in from Ohio and, I've told them all about you.
Yeah,
It's like you picked them up at a house where they all live.
Yeah. So my parents are home and a guy comes and picks me up at my doorstep. That's so rude for him not to come in and meet him. That's not weird or crazy or going over. Especially and then she paid for
what
dinner.
Strikes
That's cool.
me about this date is that, no, she paid for everything and she's kind of like dragging him around by it.
She made all the moves.
She's the one who gave him her number, and she's like calling the shots.
She's either a badass or totally crazy.
Yeah, I don't like that, Kevin. Gotta step it up.
And he could go back. And what makes me realize that the parents are more lax and not strict is that he's allowed to go back in the house after the date when they're sleeping and watch a movie. That's hookup time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
I always made out in my basement.
Yeah,
this. You should marry this chick, Kevin. Like, what are you?
Sounds like you might have to.
Exactly. She pays for dinner and gives you handjobs in the basement.
Date.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with this girl.
Yeah, don't question it.
Exactly. So enjoy it, Kevin, and have fun, but man up a little bit and start taking the lead.
Seriously.
But yeah, so that is the last question for today. But thank you so much for sticking around for Analyze This.
Thank you so much for having me.
And so where can we find your web series?
It's on YouTube, and we have a website, my Super-Overactive Imagination.com, and Facebook as well. We're all over.
Awesome. Yeah, well, definitely people who are listening, go check that out. I am going to be honest, I haven't had a chance to check it out yet because my computer was doused in vinegar yesterday, so I haven't had a computer to look at it, but these guys saw it and loved it and said it, so I'm going to watch it when I get my computer back. But yeah, so if you want to send in questions for Analyze This, send them to ask@askwomenpodcast.com. You can also go to our Amazon page at wingirlmethod.com/Amazon. You can follow us on Twitter at Ask Women Podcast. We have tons of advice going out on there every single day. What else?
Yeah, Kristen, where are you on Twitter?
No, I'm in Nowhere World. It's at Kristen Carney if you guys want to follow me.
Marnie?
Mine's at Wing Girl Method. And actually, I have a very special deal for the people who listen to this podcast. The day that this goes live, for the next 5 days after that, I'm giving a special 30% discount to anybody that uses the promo code AskWomen30 on all of my products and all of my coaching services, which I rarely ever do.